So first, guys, we have Undead Unluck, episode 21, Memento Mori. So with Andy and Fuko too weak to take on UMA Autumn, Ano has taken them in for training. The first step is learning about Andy's past, and Ano has a creative way to do so. So this was really cool. Like the whole idea is like they'll get stronger by learning more about each other. And what better way to do that than talk about the past? So to start the episode, Ano uses Artifact Soul Caliper to get Fuko into Andy's Book of the Past. So if you guys remember correctly, like she used the Yume Autumn claw arm thing to turn him into a book. And since the book was like too big for them to open, or too heavy for them to open, she used an artifact. Did you see this coming, man? Because
No, but
where's she getting all these artifacts?
yeah, I may, she can see the future, right? Somewhat, so or
Right.
something like that. Or she can ride it, so maybe she has a easier time of figuring out where artifacts are. I guess you
I
know.
don't know, man. Like she's starting to become a little suspicious to me.
Yeah. I mean, we was wondering kind of how they was gonna read Andy's past book or whatever,
Hmm.
and I guess this makes sense. Basically, she like made Fuko's soul come out of her body and just shoved it in the book, right?
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuko was as surprised as I was. Because like I just didn't expect her to have like another what seems like super powerful artifact. And like we still don't know for a fact if she's a negator, but like I feel like she has to be. She has a lot going on here.
Yeah, and it's weird that artifact, the soul caliber thing, is like it's in her body, like it's where her like heart should be, kind of right, is what it looked like.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it was some Iron Man shit, bro.
but yeah,
Um,
that's pretty interesting to see out of nowhere. So,
right. And then on top of that, she said Fuko would learn why Andy was born. Like, what do you think she meant by that? Like, you think
I,
somebody like planned him to be like undead or something like that, or like something just a little bit more
so
abstract?
there's two ways that you could probably take this, like literally, like why he was born as a person, like maybe he's destined to do something right, and maybe she's gonna find out what he was exactly destined to do,
Hmm.
or there's a second way that I think that they could be potentially talking about, and that is how Victor got sealed away and Andy became born, kinda, right?
Oh shit!
So,
Oh man, yeah. No, I think you're right actually. Because I mean, later in this little section, I will actually going to get into, I guess, the day Andy quote unquote was born. So
yeah.
good catch there. Good catch.
That's the only thing I know, which it could be either one. This show's been keeping us on our toes about, this type of shit for a while, so
Yeah, and like I think when we started this show, like I think we all thought, like Dan included, thought this was just going to be like a dumb, fun show,
yeah.
and it's just like it's pretty deep and starting to get a little bit more complex. And we have a lot of questions now. I wasn't expecting all this.
Yeah, some things don't make sense though, but most things end up making sense after a minute, so I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, getting to the actual memory or Indy's past. So we started off the story back in the Midwest, I guess the West really, in Longing. If you guys don't remember, that's the town where they found UMA spoil earlier in the season. So we're back there. Andy has a past there. And Fuko ends up getting saved by Andy and they go back to the tavern. And we end up finding out this is just after the Civil War in 1965. And I kind of put together when I was watching this that like, okay, he has 1865 on his chest. So something happened to him to where somebody or he tattooed that on to himself or something. So something major happened. And I think what you just said about him being born, uh, has something to do with that. But what did you think about him not realizing like he was even undead in this part of the memory?
Uh, I I didn't expect it. I would assume that like negators, would have in this world would have been aware of their powers somewhat, but it seemed
Hmm.
like no one was really aware of negation back then, which is kind of wild because we're what um 100 100 years back.
144. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not that far. That's not that long ago, So what changed to make everyone aware of the negators? So
Well, I think it's more like I think maybe still people don't know anything about negators. It's just like the people that are in the show know about negators.
okay.
But I think before Andy was like found out, like he had no other way to be contacted other than to get hunted down. Because I figured it would be very rare for you to find another person that has negator abilities.
It's just wild that they basically said like we've been wondering why he heals so fast or whatever. Like, did that not like pique your interest?
Right. No, no. What had me fucked up was they were like, yeah, Captain's injuries heal lickety split, but he's
Hmm.
not undead.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
What
come
y'all
on
talking
now.
about, bro?
Use your head. I mean, I know it's 150 years ago, but come on now.
Y'all know y'all not dumb. Like, what's going on here for real? He just got shot through the chest, saving this girl, and like, and it's fine. Like, y'all are just gonna, it's cool. Okay, okay.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, we get into the not so bright part of the story, and so Fuko ends up joining the crew because she like kind of convinces them that she knows Andy. She tells him about the tattoo on his chest and his arm, and but to get into to the crew, she has to play Russian roulette. And I thought it was a really cool moment because she just kept firing the gun after the first uh and the firing the revolver after like the first one wasn't in the chamber. She just kept going. And the other people were like, "Are you crazy?" She was like, "There's no bullets in this gun. I know him." She was dead right. It was pretty cool. So I thought that was a really cool moment. Even she felt comfortable enough with Andy that even like his former self 144 years ago, she was like, "I still know this guy."
That's an awful lot of chances to be playing with
Hell no, I
when
wouldn't.
you're playing Russian roulette. So
Yeah, I wouldn't do that personally, but is it's cool that she feels so comfortable.
but never did I expect to see the game Russian roulette come up in an anime. So I did not expect that.
Honestly, especially this one. Like it just
Yeah.
doesn't like we're doing like some cowboy shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um but as they're kind of like celebrating her joining the crew, some bandits that they were dealing with earlier come in and shoot up the whole crew. Fuko ends up getting saved by Miss John, I believe it is, or something like that.
Josh.
Miss Josh, thank you, sir. And it was a couple of things I wanted to kind of get into here. So sometimes in shows, going into the past involves the butterfly effect, where you can't touch anything, you can't do it, you can just observe because things stack up and it changes the future. Like, did you like this version of, I guess, being in the past versus that?
Uh I mean,
Because she's like part of the story now,
yeah, I think that they meant to do it that way
for
because
sure.
I think that her going into the past was part of the past. I guess you can say it was meant to happen to get to where they are at that time in the future. I believe, as I don't think with her going into the past, I don't think that he would have found out that he was undead. So fast. I mean,
I mean, but that and that's what I'm confused about is like, does this like create paradoxes? Like, what if she never like met him?
that's the
Something has to
thing.
happen first, right? Like it
I
doesn't
mean,
creates a loop. Creates a loop if she's like actually in his memories for real.
I mean, this is where like time shit gets weird, you know, because it obviously happened because this. I mean, it was obviously meant to happen in the current loop or whatever,
Hmm.
because he found out about it, and then it makes sense too because she ends up telling him where they'll meet, and he'll save her and stuff like that. So without that information, he wouldn't have never saved her, and Fuko would have died, right? So it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, because if he doesn't save her, they never, like they never meet. But like if they had never met in the like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like
I,
if they had never
Time
met in the first
don't.
place, she couldn't have told him to save her. So it had to always happen. It was meant to be, I guess. Yeah. I try not to get too much into like the time travel shit because it's like it is what it is. But I like to point that kind of shit out.
Yeah, I mean the time travel stuff, like it doesn't really like if you look into it more and more, like it doesn't make sense. It's kind of like it brings up the questions like which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Right.
Something like that. I mean we don't really know. We just know it is what it is.
Yes. And to the people listening, I would like to say like if shit like this bothers you, like there's a guy biting his finger off and using it as a bullet. Just suspend your belief. Continue to suspend your belief. Like we've already gone so far. Um,
I just really hope that they don't like dive into the whole
I
time
don't think
loop,
they
or
will.
the whole thing too much, because that's when it starts breaking down. Usually for anime.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just we. It happened, and let's just move on. Don't explain it. That'll be
Yeah,
better for the story. I think. I agree with you. So, but I want to talk about some other things. So after like the saloon woman pretty much betrayed them, uh, Andy gives her the option. So hey, if you pour some Anheuser Busch on their graves every year, uh, you know what? It'll. I'm sure they'll be okay. They'll forgive you. And later, Andy says to Fuko, this version of Andy says to Fuko, I just wanted her to suffer. You think that's actually true?
I mean, it could be. I mean that
Is that something
that
he would do though? Like it doesn't. It seems out of character. He's a different man in this, but it still seems out of character to me that he would actually mean that.
it seems like he's trying to act bad. I think that he may be like somewhat of the same man, as
Hmm.
some of his values, but I feel like until Foucault met him, maybe after Foucault met him, he changed into the direct man that he is now. But I feel like that him wanting them to suffer could have been like his current self, because he is sad about um his friends having to leave him again due to her betrayal, and that her pouring beer out on their graves every year not only like, I guess, makes their memories live on somewhat, but it
Hmm.
also brings her back to like, this is what I did each year. So
True. Okay. I thought it was more to. I thought he was just putting up a front for Fuka. Is what I thought.
it
And I
could
thought he
be.
I thought like maybe like he just wanted his friends to be remembered.
Yeah.
Like just pay your like you killed them and the least you could do is like just pay your respects every year because they didn't deserve this. Instead
Yeah.
of out of like instead of out of spite, it was out of respect for the people he had met. Because I mean, we don't even know if he's like used to people dying like this yet. Because it's been like a year since his like first memory, quote unquote. So
Oh,
this could have
has it?
happened already. Yeah. Because she came
Okay.
back in 1965.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, he's very different. He doesn't smile. I think just under the surface, he's the same guy.
Okay.
Um, he just needs to let that personality out. You know what I'm saying? He's still figuring out who he is. Um, but yeah, the last conversation that we see Foucault and Andy They're talking about what it means to die. And we inadvertently get a love confession out of Fuko. Usually, this is you're not the person, the version of the person that I love, and it was pretty cool. But Andy says that you die when your brain stops thinking, leaving you unable to change anymore. And Fuko counters that and says, you die when everyone has forgotten about you. I like to stay away from the morbid things too, but I thought this was a really cool moment. Um, I know agree more with Fuko that you can live on as long as somebody says your name every once in a while. I'm a little superstitious.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you. I thought that was a really cool moment though.
It was pretty cool. I mean, and I get what they're both saying, I mean, technically, for those people that do die, that is when they do die. But for everyone else, they really don't die until you stop, talking about them. So I think both is true in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay.
So
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair. I'm gonna keep whispering people's names, but yeah, that's fair.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
mean, I think that you should definitely like talk about people who have passed on, especially if you care for them. I mean, they would probably want you to, right?
Heck yeah, man,
So
for
yeah,
sure, like for real, for sure. Um, but yeah, and then we start to see as they're finishing up this conversation, we start to see Fuko being transported away to somewhere else. We're not sure at this point, but she tells Andy that he has to save her at Shinjuku Station, 144 years in the future, and that she will kiss him then. Now, Tyler, I think you already kind of addressed this. Was like, you think that's the reason he actually showed up there,
I
and he
think so.
wasn't
I
just
mean,
passing by?
what's the coincidences, of him showing up there? I mean, so if you go back, and I remember this because I'm just stupid like that,
Hmm.
but if you go back and watch the first episode, Andy was sitting there eating something, ramen or pudding or something. He was just sitting there eating.
Right.
Um and that's when he noticed her. So he was there for a reason, just chilling there. And I think this is why. And it makes sense now, right?
It does, and like as you were talking about that, like he always was like, "Yeah, Fuko, you do love me. You know
Yeah,
you
okay.
do." So yeah, he's been saying that since the beginning. Now
Yeah,
that I think about it, yeah.
so I mean, with us seeing this perspective, like, it almost makes me wanna go back and rewatch it and see what they've thrown in there for us,
True.
in anticipation of this episode.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I might go back and try to rewatch the beginning of the season, and we don't know if Andy's just like super comfortable with everybody, or if it's just because he knew Fuko and traveled with her for a year of his life, quote unquote. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check that out.
yeah,
But
it's definitely worth a look because if they threw little stuff in there and we just didn't really think about or pay attention to it, like, that's super cool when anime do that, but
that's
we just
fun,
didn't know, so
right?
but yeah,
And they could have been flaunting it in our face the whole time.
exactly.
But yeah, the episode ends with Fuko fading off, and she ends up going to the date that Andy's memory starts. I believe it's April 9th or the 4th, 1865. And we're gonna learn a lot next episode, but that's it for right now, guys.
Yeah, Washington DC too, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Should be extra
um,
spicy.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But if that's it, I guess we can move on to Freeran.
Yes, sir.